please stick the landing. That's all I ask. Just stick the landing. Hello, everyone. Terrence here with Hollywood Already Did It. If you haven't already, go ahead, like, share, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, ring that bell below. Anytime we have something new, will be among the first to know. 900 of you guys. I see you. I see the number going up. I appreciate you all. Every single one of you, I appreciate. We're here with episode 7, the season finale of The Old Man. And I know everybody's like, please just stick the landing, stick the landing. Just make it all come together. And to an extent, it does. Here's the deal. You have to be a little bit lenient with this show. They're originally going to do 10 episodes for this season. They can only do 7. Some of that because of COVID, shooting practicals, but also because Jeff Bridges, our lead character, was going through a bout of cancer and cancer recovery, cancer treatment, and so they had to truncate and switch things. It also explains to an extent why some of the action was lean towards the first act, first 2 episodes, and not so much in the back half because a lot of this stuff was shot once he returned to set. There's a pretty big action sequence that occurs in this episode, but it is not handled by Dan Chase. It is given to another character, and it all makes sense when you think about what's happening in the real world. And they managed to make it all pull together where nothing feels out of place or like, oh, you got a bit shortchanged, other than one particular thing, which I'll get on once we talk about the entire show. This episode picks up where we left off, where Harper and Chase are having a combo about what to do next. Harper has reached out to the assassin that he hired to kill Chase, and Julian and 2 other operatives that have kind of gone rogue, if you will, have captured Angela and are holding her sort of hostage and by Hamzat. The plan is what Harper is told is that, hey, if Chase surrenders himself, they will give up Angela, and it's a way that he can kind of they both have the self-sacrifice to sort of get their daughter back. Chase is like, all right, cool. If that's what I have to do to get her back, then that's what I'll do. He sends Zoe. This is the last that we've seen of Amy Brenneman. He sends Zoe back home, even though Zoe sort of gives him a hint that, hey, Hamzat there might be something to him. You might be able to kind of negotiate with him, because when I mentioned when his handler or his lawyer came and tried to coerce me to go with her, I saw something on her face, and Dan's like, shut up. Just go home. You don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing on his face. Hamzat wants what he wants. What you saw is not what you thought you saw. And that's because he's got something in his head that he knows what's really going on, but he's just not telling anybody yet. He's holding that close to the vest, which I feel like a lot of the things that occur in this show, especially once we get to the flashbacks later on, are because Dan, also known as Johnny, just doesn't come forth all the time with what needs to come forth with. But Zoe gets sent off. Last we see of her. The Zoe and the dogs, who we spent a great deal of the show with, off the board. And Harold is now taking Chase to the meet to drop off Chase so that he can pick up Angela. We then see a bunch of flashbacks, 2 that are pretty important to what's happening in this show. One, there is a sequence where the 3 of them, Hamzat's wife, and Chase all meet back in the day when they're younger, and Hamzat confronts them saying, my friend and my wife are lying to me. And it is at that time revealed that he was well aware that she was an operative giving Russian intelligence. Like, that part I know. There's something else that you guys are lying to me about. The brain, and I guess probably maybe most of the audience thought it was like if they were having an affair, but I am of the belief now that they did not do anything with each other until after they left there. Maybe out of respect, maybe out of fear, but I don't think they got intimate with each other while still there. It was when they escaped is when that sort of took place. Neither here nor there. That wasn't the reveal. The reveal was that she told him, hey, there's something that I can give you that would give you a lot of power and control over all of this. But I was trying to siphon this off to you so that you wouldn't be consumed with power. And in that, he's like, why would you not believe that I can just handle this or be fine with this? And the way that he's reacting is clear that he wants the power. It's clear that she made the right decision. But he leaves it to her and is like, hey, you got a day. I'm going to give you a day to go ahead and figure yourself out, but I need you to tell me where that is, or there's going to be consequences. That is the day that they choose to escape, because immediately young Chase calls young Harper to say, hey, you need to extract us out of here. You got to get us out of here now. Otherwise, it's going to be some bloodshed. It's going to be terrible. It's not going to end well for them. And Harper's like, cool, do everything humanly possible. I'm going to get you guys out of there, but you need to do me a favor. I need you to take Hamzat out. He cannot stay alive. Under no circumstances can you leave there and you not handle it. And so when he and Hamzat's wife get on that plane, it is believed to everyone that he has handled the business and taken care of Hamzat. He did not. And so this whole thing could have been ended there had Chase made a decision to actually end it. There's a reason why he didn't end it. As Harper and Chase in present day are driving, they start revealing a little bit more. They're going tit for tat. This is a great sequence. Two legends of their craft pretty much not looking at each other, having a conversation with the foreground as they drive. There's so much being said and not said in this scene. A respect level for both, but two dads trying to do what's best for the daughter that they have. For them, both, it is their daughter. One is their birth daughter, so we believe, and the other is their surrogate daughter. And they both feel that they have to do everything humanly possible to protect their daughter. One feels like because they are more ingrained with them that they have a little bit more leeway to say what goes on with their daughter than the other, but they both feel like they have a stake in this. What we come to find out is that truthfully neither of them are the birth daughter. As we continue on, they are about to make their way and drive to go to the meet. As they do so, the team with Julian and all of those folks start realizing that, hey, we're being absconded upon. There's a group of people that are falling in on our territory. And they let Harper know, and Harper's like, crap, Hamzat's reneged on the deal. He's, no matter what happens, when we drop off Chase, he's still going to try and go get Angela. So we have a sequence where we see Julian go and do a pretty badass action sequence. He's taking people out, just trying to clear the road so that they can get Angela safely out of that space without issue. It's a pretty fun, intense shoot 'em up sequence. He shoots someone through the door. It's pretty badass. It's really well done. They leave, and then we never see Julian again. He's gone. We don't know what else happens to him in this episode. But that car gets absconded upon, and Angela gets taken. Harper and Chase turn around after that convoy that they're running with starts turning against them. Chase takes them out. There's a little fun tit for tat between the two of them. Like, I should probably be driving. Man, fuck you. Just do what you do so we can get out of this. Because in that, Chase informs Harper that you probably never looked at the manifest of the plane and who was all on there, but there were 3 members who returned off that plane that night that you saved us and took us from Hamzat. He's like, 3? Yeah, it was me, Hamzat's wife, and then his daughter, who is Angela. So the big reveal of this entire series and episode is that it's not my 2 dads, it's my 3 dads. Because Hamzat is the actual birth father to Angela. And so these 2 dads are now going to do everything humanly possible to go protect the daughter that they have grown to love as their daughter from their actual father. And that's sort of the season in a nutshell. It ends with Angela getting out of the car after being captured and for the first time ever seeing her actual birth father. And the other side, it ends with Harold and Chase making their way to a plane to go and try to go to Afghanistan to go get their daughter. And that's the button. That's the end of this. We don't see Zoe. We don't see the dog. So this has all been sort of a setup for what is to come in the future, where these 2 go to abscond upon Hamzat's world to go get their daughter. I have a feeling that in the future, when we get to the season 2, which it has been picked up for season 2, which is why I think I'm a little bit more lenient with the way that this ends. We're going to get Zoe back in there as well. There's no way that Hamzat's going to leave that loose end of trying to control Chase without going to get her. She's probably going to already have the dogs at that point. I don't know how the dogs get to the other country, considering, but they can. You can easily put them on a plane, and I just don't know how that happens with Zoe being the one to get them. So this season as a whole, how do I feel? It's a really good season. I think it started off stronger than it ended. I love the dialogue pieces, so it's not that the dialogue happens. I just wish for this entire season to happen, I wish there was a moment where we got to see old Chase and old Hamzat interact. Even if it's by phone, they never have a one-on-one conversation. And because that is the entire precipice of the series, the two of them, they're tit for tat. And now knowing that they have that thing in between each other, it would have been cool to have a moment where the two of them actually did some interaction. Even if it's a matter of, we still don't know at that point when they talk that Angela's both of their daughters. They could say so much without actually giving us that reveal that I think would have heightened this up a little bit. But I think working around schedules, working around disease and life just happening, they've managed to make a really good, entertaining 7 episodes that feel like a prequel to whatever we're going to get in the future. And I think, Lord willing, that everything works out, that we can get to season 2 and kind of expound upon this series a little bit more. I feel like there's a lot more meat on the bone, and we're just kind of like scraping the surface of what this show could be. I think when you deal with these spy thrillers, sort of like with Jack Ryan on Amazon, you're going to have ebbs and flows of action to suspense to intensity. This episode, while it was not, other than the Julian sequence, was not jam-packed with action. There's a little action beat that we have with Chase shooting down the cars. It is very tense because we're on the edge of our seats because we don't know who's going to have the one-up on there. Like, we don't know what's going to happen to Angela, and then we find out that Angela's never really in danger. Chase and Harper are, and now those dads are going to go get their daughter from their actual dad. And the big thing is we don't know how Angela's going to react to knowing that she was taken so young and that's her actual dad. Like, that's the big question mark to all of this. We don't know how she responds. And we've seen how she's been sort of flighty to, like, I want to have both my dads. I don't think there's a world where she can be like, I want to have all 3 of my dads, because the way that she was taken from Hamzat isn't going to sit right with him versus the other 2. So it's going to be, well, I said in the last episode, I think Angela has something to do with this. She did, but not in the way that not on her, by her own decision. She is sort of a victim of this. And so it's going to be up to her to what side she sort of decides to play on. And that'll be fun to play with in the future. I don't know when we get season 2. Can't come fast enough, because this is a fun, quick 7 episodes that I am excited to see what happens next. What did you guys think about the first season of The Old Man? And what did you think about specifically about this season finale? Did the twist work for you? Did you like that? Did you see that coming? I did not. I cannot lie to you. I thought Angela was in on this, on setting up her 2 dads, but I did not think that she was the pawn that was sort of being placed between the 3 fathers. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comments below. If you haven't already, you can follow us on Twitter at HollywoodADI. You can hit us up on email at HollywoodAlreadyDidIt@gmail.com. We also have a podcast with the same name that's on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that plays podcasts. We are there. And like always, I got my ticket. You got yours.